welcome you to the new season of the Talk with Tariro, and this time around coming to you with my new co-host Alice Tagwira. We welcome you to the show as my co-host.
Thank you so much.
Alice is going to be with us from now on, so I'm sure we're going to be enjoying. And as you can see, we've played around with our setup as a way of promoting more engagement, promoting more dialogue. And today we are discussing one issue that we often see and hear almost everywhere, the issue of umjolo. What exactly is umjolo? And to introduce our guests who are going to dissect this issue with you is my co-host Alice. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Great moments indeed. And what a topic it is. We hope we're going to unpack this to the core. Allow me to introduce to you Tapiwa Muzimba, Mr. Zimbabwe, and Wadzanai. What do you really think is the difference between Mujolo back then and now?
Maybe even before they get there, Alice, some people might not even know what Mjolo is. Wadza. Unpack it for us when we hear you saying Mjolo, before even they unpack that. What is Mjolo?
Umjolo. It's a pandemic. Umjolo, it's like relationships that people are engaging in right now that are, to an extent, having more negative outcomes than what we usually found in relationships. Usually in society, when you're getting into a relationship, you look forward to having a life partner, there's marriage, there's kids, but now it's just tears. It's just tears. It's people getting into relationships for the wrong reasons, and then the outcome is just mayhem. That's just generally what it is. It's just these bad outcomes that are coming from relationships. Yeah.
Yes, well defined. So what's happening, Tapiwa, with Umjolo?
I think the new era is contributing a lot, social media, because what we see on social media, thinking that I want my partner to be like this, is not exactly what we see in reality. For instance, I can be in a relationship with a girl. I want a girl who calls me 24/7, doing all sorts of stuff, respected, all that. But once I find the girl not delivering my expectations, then I will nisa ye. That's where the mjolo part comes in, the negative outcomes.
Wow.
What's the Nisa? Alice, you being a young person, and the issue of Mjolo, we are Nisa. So when they say we are Nisa, what are you saying?
I'll hurt you.
It will hurt you. So Mjolo, can we then say Mjolo is dirty? Or it's different?
Mujolo is not dirty. It's still the same that we used to have back then. But just now, a lot of people are bitter. A lot of people are emotionally drained. So somehow, wherever they invest their energy into, it just turns out to be sour.
Exactly. Having experienced Mjolo myself. No, wait. The day before I won Mr. Zimbabwe, the day before, we were doing a high-profile show where there were government officials and, you know, the first family. So my current partner at that time wanted to see me after the show. Unfortunately, we got delayed where we were, so I couldn't
Because
see
it was a high-powered event with delegates, exactly.
So I couldn't see her on time, let alone I had to prepare for the competition ahead of me tomorrow. So I couldn't see her. Fast forward, I went back home. Her number was not reachable. It happened that I was online on WhatsApp, texting people wishing me luck. So I was like texting and chatting. All of a sudden, I then dozed. My phone was online. She then came back online, I think around towards midnight. She was now looking for me. My phone is online. Then she was like, dude, shut up, kapan up. In the competition tomorrow, you know what I did? No stroke. How can it? On a serious note, no stroke. So, but then, kind of when you say Mjolo, you have to pick yourself up. And you then say, no, it is what it is. Let me, my dreams, me first, then Mjolo late. So, you know, it's kind of a catch-22.
What were your reasons?
It was like, asiwawana ka mama kako here huko, because it was a high profile event.
Just because you couldn't communicate with her,
Exactly.
she looked for you.
Exactly. Plus, by the time the relationship was kind of sour, so that triggered as well, because each one would be like, you know. So she then said, okay, perhaps you found yourself a sugar mama.
Why though thinking about a sugar mama? Is that what comes to mind or to your minds as young people? Or where then there is this thinking of Mjolo, if there's a problem, then you've gone to somebody. And then if it's her, then maybe there's the sugar daddy.
Like what Alice said, I think our generation, myself included, I think we are a broken generation. So 1 minute you don't respond to my call, you don't pick up my call, you don't reply online. I then now assume that perhaps you're now talking to someone else, or you're now interested to someone else.
What's that Tapiwa is saying? You are a broken generation.
Yeah, we really are.
And I'm glad you're actually saying it as young people. You are seeing it that you are a broken generation.
We really are. I think to add on to what Tapiwa and Alice were saying, Alice spoke about emotional drain. And I think right now as a generation, because of social media, which was mentioned already, these issues, it's nothing new. The only new thing is that there is more pressure that is being applied when it comes to relationships.
Right.
I see this person is like, hey, Valentine's.
Hey, Valentine is coming. Where is your boyfriend? Lonely.
You see, okay, you can get someone who's getting those $800 bouquet flowers, and then you have your boyfriend, you know, a university student, just like you, who doesn't have that much to be spending on you. But because I've seen it being done for someone else, I want it also.
Yes.
So there's this thing where expectations are just too high. And in reality, people are not ready for it.
Yeah.
She spoke about emotional drain. I remember I was having a conversation with my friend just yesterday, actually. And we're talking about how everyone right now is going through a tough time. Like people are just, we're in our 20s.
Yes.
We're nearing our 30s. And you just need a person who gives you emotional security. You need a person, but not everyone is willing to work on that.
Is it the person who you're doing Jolo with?
Oh, no, not really. I was talking to my friend.
To your friend, all right. Okay.
And I feel like
Just to be clear.
people aren't willing to put in the work.
Yes.
They want fast things. They
yes.
want it to be rosy. They want it to be fast and to be fancy. So because of that now, there's no understanding, there's no time. It's like, yes, I couldn't get to you on time because there's something else I'm doing. But apasasina that allowance, Yekuti, let me explain. It's like, no, because of this, it's this. Like you do not, you know, like that. So I think our generation is broken. There's need for more communication and
And also this thing of divorce rates going up. People are losing hope. They're like, why do I date, get married? The next thing I'm divorced. So that's one thing that's draining people emotionally. And trust levels have gone down.
Exactly.
What's causing that?
We have seen people cheating, couples cheating on each other. We have seen abuse. We've seen a lot happening. So it's like there is no more hope. But we try to hope against hope.
Hoping after a heartbreak, that's what we'll come back to after the break, where we'll hear what Tapua is talking about. But really what's worrying for me is having young people agreeing and consenting that as a generation, they are actually a lost generation. How do we restore that generation? Join us after the break.
Welcome back to The Talk with Tariro Makanka. So we're picking from where we left to. Tapio, how did you manage to pick up yourself and contest the following day?
All right, so this is me. After the heartbreak, honestly, I was sad, to be very honest. And
Yeah, honestly, to be very honest. You know,
you know, and the ropaningira kato pisa. Kutakunge ucha stroke. It's 5 a.m. They wanted me at the rehearsal at the venue, I think around midday. So what I just told myself was like, I've wanted this before, and myself comes first. I am my first priority because when it comes to these issues of heartbreak, yes, the pain comes, but you must put yourself together. At the end of the tunnel, there's light.
People are failing to manage between Mujolo and work or Mujolo and business.
Yeah.
You end up losing it all. At some point, I was left almost dead by
Mujolo.
Yes. You know what? I just woke up and decided not to go to work.
Wow.
Because Mujolo
Depression, the after effects.
my boyfriend had married a girlfriend from nowhere.
Oh,
And I was busy thinking that I'm the one.
And this is not the first time that I'm seeing this. What Alice is talking
It's now
about.
like a trend.
Where people are actually saying, oftentimes you just see it on the status.
Yes.
That somebody who's talking about marriage with you, they actually got married.
To someone else.
Or you see someone on the roller squad
Yes.
actually just posting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I experienced that twice. The first time, I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting for it to end in marriage. So I was hurt, I was broken. But second time, I was expecting pain. See how bad it is. You now expect pain. You're like, okay, it's fine. It happens. That's the norm in this generation.
So that means even your commitment in that relationship,
Yeah.
because you are saying, anytime I can be hurt. So how is that affecting the kinds of relationship that you as young people are having?
Well, usually there's this saying that says, look out for number one. So now that's all that we are doing. You're focusing on yourself. And because I'm focused on me and not the relationship or nurturing the relationship, I won't have my eggs in one place. I'm going to try and have my eggs in different baskets because Alababa can do
Which
dirty.
eggs, are they them jolos? So you
Yes! You have to have your eggs scattered because if I'm to be invested and then later on urkona message yakanzi respectfully, I mean honestly, everyone is now expecting pain. So we are now looking for cushions instead of
Where did we go wrong?
we made it public.
What did you make public?
We made everything public. Kudara, these things happened. You'd hear kuti murume wakati aenda kunorora uko, and now you're wondering what's happening. But now it's there. We are seeing it. The videos
when
are
you
everywhere.
Then say it's a pandemic. You know, a pandemic is something in Shona to chafararira, which never used. During our days, there were steps to courtship, this and that and that. But with you guys now, what you are seeing, Mjolo for me, it's okay. It's a pandemic. So where did we go wrong?
We're in the new era.
Which new era?
This 21st century, I'm at 2000. Things are just changing, and they're changing fast like a Wi-Fi. Yes, they're actually fast like a Wi-Fi. So you could see, for example, a 21-year-old girl. Not that I'm against them. No, she will be dating perhaps someone older to be her father, a 60-year-old man, and sometimes she will be being spoiled and all sorts of things. So you get to see now the difference between back then and now. Back then, it was kind of a taboo for a girl to be dating an older man, a very, very old man. But now it's like a norm. Yes. I think the other thing, I think the families are the key to play, and the economy as well. Because, for example, if I am a girl or if I'm a guy coming from a poor background, the only thing to make sure that I survive, suppose if I'm a girl, I'll look for a blesser. As a guy, I'll look for a sugar mommy, then I become a Ben 10.
When we are dating, are we dating for marriage or are we dating to see how things, if things can work between us?
I think that's the thing. Right now, everyone is in this wearing Java thing. So there's a competition. People are dating to get married and not to know the person that they want to get into a relationship with. The goal is to wear Java.
Want to get married?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. People want to get married, but the way to get to marriage is just hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. People are fascinated by the idea of wearing those lobola attires.
Lobola squad.
Yes, letting the whole world know that ndasororwa tapinda mumba. Do you also know that these young girls, they have gone, not the young girls only, they have gone to the extent of thinking that being involved with an older guy is better than these playboys. Playboys, they're going after sugar mummies. Playboys, they're going after the slave queens. They are going after looks only. They are not faithful. If you know, that's where the pandemic part of it is, because there's that's kurora. And they cannot invest as much as we invest.
So when you then date somebody who's older, who is this person that you then end up dating as a young person? Is it somebody who's already married?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you become like the small house.
Yeah, people are not
Yeah,
feeling
they
that.
are. I spoke to a friend of mine who's in that particular relationship, and I was asking her, why are you so comfortable being in a relationship like that? Because the age gap does not make sense. I'm like, why? Why are you comfortable? And she's like, because I know that there are lesser risks in me getting hurt. Because with a guy I invest, I expect him to marry me. But with this man, I know he's not going to marry me, but at least I'm getting what I want in life. So now that's the mentality that's there.
Our discussion, interesting discussion. We will continue after this short break. Worryingly, what we are discussing now, like right now, what they have raised, is an issue of intergenerational relationships where young people are now okay dating people who are much older than them, and from what they are saying, people who are actually married. And let's look at the power dynamics there. Let's even look at the risk of who controls what in that relationship. Even issues of using protection, we're talking about having HIV, issues of STIs, all those come into play. We are talking about Mjolo, and they are saying we are Nisa. Join us after the break.
Welcome back to the third and last segment of the Talk with Tariro Makanga, where we are digging deep into these issues of Mujolo, the pandemic. You know, the subject is very broad and we cannot finish it all today. But moving on, where were we?
The confusion that is there, the intergenerational relationships that you as young people end up getting into. So how do we, I think now let's try and come up with solutions. And I want them to be solutions coming from you as young people. Because if we tell you, you tell us, hey, me Machembere, you don't know what we want. Wah, 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 wah. So tell us, how do we address this issue to make Mjolo not to Nisa you?
Well, before the nursing part, to me, because Mjolo is not going to end anytime soon, rather we should encourage people to have safe sex, that is the use of condoms, the use of the PrEP.
So are you agreeing that, yeah, as young people, you because Wanyiswa, you end up even dating, because that's the last issue that we ended the previous episode talking about, where Wadza was saying, then would then say, it's better I actually date somebody who's not from my age bracket, somebody who's older than me. So you are coming in and saying, as a solution, would want also to use protection and all. You are then saying, yeah,
HIV and STIs.
we will date people who are older than us.
Yes, because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. We just have to accept. Rather, we come from another angle. Let's say, okay, while you're dating older people, let's minimize the risk of contracting HIV and AIDS and STIs. By how? Through PrEP and the use of condoms. At least would have, on the health side, it's okay.
For me, then, Wadza, you are becoming a lost generation. You are even becoming more lostest. Yes.
Yeah, it is quite worrying because I can't say this generation. Our generation is not willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
People have to work in a relationship, but because it's a long and tiresome process, no one is willing to do so. So if I see that it's difficult, I'll find like an easier way out.
Yeah.
Which is either dating an older man or trying to just, get someone to marry me, and then hence the divorce rates. Because we're not getting married for the right reasons. We're
Yeah.
getting married because Instagram is showing us every weekend kuti pane kwarorwa, kune kwauya mombe, saka kwedu ngakuye mombe. And yet that is not what we're supposed to do.
This generation now, we're now emotionally intelligent. We now understand the investment in my emotions than anything else.
And then look at you, how you are. If we then are going to accept that we don't know how to deal, we didn't know how to deal with our emotions.
When I decide to get into a relationship, I want someone to be emotionally invested. You didn't look into that. You were not concerned about that. But now, has he called me? How are you managing life? You know.
They are emotionally connected. They need sensitivity. Whereas, I won't say your
is
generation,
too much
I'll say
enlightenment.
generations before required stability,
Yeah.
security. Can you provide for the
Yes.
family? And then I'll stay. You'll see in a household where Baba vanenge vakangonyarara. They don't even communicate. It's just, this is what's happening and that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But for me now, I'm like, I don't want that.
understand.
I want you to communicate with me, understand me.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? You see, we're not finding that. But yeah, I get what that is.
Yeah.
Your generation and our generation.
I'm in trouble. Yeah.
wait a minute. Your generation was not focused on the gender equality, unlike our generation. Because in this day and age, you find when you're in a relationship with someone, you're both equal, unlike your time, whereby you'll be like, okay, I'm repass pa daddy. And it's murume achitochi ndinindri baba. Manje 2022, we are both equal. She will be saying takafanana. Yes, it's never equal rights, which is not bad, but pazviri kuapplywa pacho ndo pasisiri kuita. At the same time, in the same way, zvinozotrigger, zvinozoka back ku mental health because munhu wemurume zvinozomuaffecta. Ende kana zvamuaffecta, munhu wemurume, what really happens kumunhu wemurume akaaffectika kazhinji, some may not speak out because our generation or our society rather inotaura kuti munhu wemurume munhu akashinga. Saka at the end of the day, you might find the cases of suicide.
Whilst you're talking about that, I actually remember, I think I saw a post on social media where a guy was actually talking about how Mjolo nyisad him. And people were coming there and saying, namatira imba yako, dzimba dzakaoma, vakadzi vanonetsa, vakadzi vanenge pwere, you know, things that used to be said, varume vanenge pwere, you know, men can do all this and men cannot handle that. So when that then happens, where it's usually the woman, anenge achinzi pray for your marriage, or your relationship, Tapiwa is saying, usually with ladies, it can even end in suicide.
It really can.
Men are not at a position to accept that women are becoming independent. Patriarchy is still a pandemic in Africa. So men cannot coexist with a woman who is outspoken, strong-willed, educated, independent, like I said. So it becomes a challenge for them to coexist with a woman like that. Those most beautiful and educated women are single.
So your final words to young people particularly, even to adults. I'm sure there are some vezera redu vari kunyiswa futi nemjolo. Your final words to them.
I don't think there's anything that people can really do, like capacity building, or people just need to be themselves, honestly, because if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get the good results. If you want something quick, the only quick thing you get is a quick, painful, release. And also, men aren't used to the pain because they were not taught the same way women were. So I think we need to go back to the basics of saying, just because munu aura anzishingirira imba yako namatira imba, men didn't get that. We did. Even pama kitchen party tinonzi murume can step out iwewe shinga semunhu wemukadzi. But now
Mukadzi asi kushinga.
Shingai dzimba dzimwe.
Because everyone is
It's tough.
Tapiwa, your final words.
Don't get into a relationship when you have not healed from your previous heartbreak, because you will stress the next person. I myself, I will not tolerate someone who is broken.
Yeah, true.
Rather, find counseling, seek therapy, talk to someone else, release your burden, because at the end of the day, if you do not speak out, cases are that you're gonna commit suicide, depression, mental illnesses, your mental health matters. So before you engage to someone, self-introspect.
Yeah.
After that, then we are good to go. I think in the next generation, we might, not be misad.
Alice, you can wrap up our show.
Yes, what an interesting discussion. But well, I feel that we might just
Be back with it.
yes. So I actually think it's okay not to be married when there is no one to marry you out there. It's okay. So, Mami, thank you so much for this program that we have had, and we look forward to more programs to empower the young ones and to get to their minds, understand what's happening. So thank you so much, and see you next time.